Hello and welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Television. I'm your host, İlham, with the most important events of the day. President İlham sent an executive order on the allocation of one-time financial assistance to those who participated in the Second World War of 1941-1945, to widows of warriors who perished or died afterwards, and to those who have been awarded with medals and orders for their heroic services in the rear front. According to the executive order, one-time financial assistance in the amount of 1,500 monats is allocated to those who participated in the Second World War of 1941-1945 and 750 monats to the widows of warriors who perished in the Second World War or died afterwards, to people who have been awarded with medals and orders for their heroic services in the rear front, to members of special formations who implemented duties in the rear borders of the battlefront or in the operational zones of battling fleets for the benefit of the army and fleet, to those who have been awarded with relevant medals and badges for the defense of Leningrad, as well as to the participants of the siege of Leningrad. 4,800,000 monats from the reserve fund of the President is allocated towards that end. The United States is interested in developing cooperation with Azerbaijan in many areas. This issue raised during the phone call conversation between the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and President İlham on April 28th reaffirms the great potential for deepening relations between the two countries. The decision of the U.S. government to suspend Amendment 907 for another year can be considered a real expression of the strategic importance of the Baku-Washington contacts.
Azerbaijan proves that it is not only a leading state in the South Caucasus, but also one of the key actors actively involved in global processes. Commenting on the details of the phone call of the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken to President İlham, experts believe that our country's energy security, regional security, implementation of the Southern Gas Corridor project, and participation in the peacekeeping mission in Afghanistan and its successful steps in other areas are undoubtedly welcomed by the White House administration. The high assessment of the rational policy pursued by the official Baku is clearly reflected in the example of the suspension for another year of the 907 amendment to the Freedom Support Act adopted by the United States in 1992. One of the main directions of Azerbaijan-US cooperation is the activity within the framework of the OSCE Minsk Group on the settlement of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, as the destructive policy of the aggressor, Armenia, did not allow to resolve the conflict through diplomatic means. Azerbaijan liberated its lands on its own in September of last year based on the UN Charter and relevant UN Security Council resolutions. Now new realities have emerged in the region, and Azerbaijan is busy fulfilling the tasks ahead in the post-war period. Armenia, having suffered bitter defeat in the 44-day war, again makes revanchist statements and tries to evade the implementation of the provisions of the Capitulation Act, thereby hindering the implementation of regional projects. In such a situation, states such as the United States can play an exceptional role in ensuring security. However, some nuances in the approach of the co-chairs to the realities of the post-conflict period are currently met with concern by the Azerbaijani public. For example, facts such as the recognition of the fake Armenian genocide by the President of the United States, discussion of a draft resolution on the issue of prisoners of war in the French Parliament, and turning of a blind eye by the Russian peacekeepers to Armenian sabotage in some cases lead the enemy to new adventures and give the wrong impression that the crisis in Armenia is over. Following Joe Biden's support for the fake genocide, Armenian political circles began circulating fake news that the Baku-Ankara duo had been blacklisted in the US foreign policy. However, both the White House administration statement that the word genocide has nothing to do with the Republic of Turkey and the US Secretary of State's phone call to the President of Azerbaijan dealt a crushing blow on the Armenians. President İlham's reminder to Antony Blinken that US President's statement on the Armenian genocide was greeted with great concern, as well as his statement that Turkey is a close friend and ally of Azerbaijan, that it plays a very important and positive role in the region in the post-war period, had a cold shower effect on Yerevan. This means that Armenia will not be able to achieve what it wants by pursuing a policy of misinformation and blackmailing against both Azerbaijan and Turkey by pursuing a policy based on Joe Biden's expression of genocide. Official Baku calls on countries interested in developing a strategic partnership with Azerbaijan to take a more principled position on such issues, because the future development of the South Caucasus depends not on the absurd claims cited by Armenia, but on the successful implementation of transport and energy projects which are closely supported by the United States.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's phone call to President İlham was extensively covered by media outlets of Turkey. The fraternal country's mass media presented the issues discussed during the phone call as featured headlines to the Turkish-speaking audiences. Information released by Anadolu, İHA News Agency, TRT Haber, TRT Avaz, Habertürk, A Haber, Haber Global TV channels, Hürriyet, Sabah, Akşam, Akar, Milli Gazete, and other press services emphasized that President İlham highlighted the U.S. President's statement in regards to the so-called Armenian genocide was met with concern by the Azerbaijani leadership and public. As an inevitable result of breaches of law committed during the time of occupation by Armenia, the issues of liability for the serious breaches of international law must be raised. The fight against impunity is an important means of prevention and necessary precondition for the solid peace and real reconciliation. This view was expressed by the permanent representative of Azerbaijan to the UN, Yaşar Aliyev, in the virtual open debate on the topic protection of facilities necessary for the survival of civilians. He recalled that bans on the attacks against the civilian population, which incurred disproportionate damages on the civilians and facilities, were violated by Armenia on numerous occasions during the time of the conflict. The war put an end to the lives of tens of thousands of people. Ethnic cleansing was carried out against more than 700,000 Azerbaijanis. The majority of the occupied cities, settlements and villages were razed to the ground. It was brought to the attention that the Azerbaijani government was taking measures to provide for the accelerated restoration of the territories liberated from the occupation. Master plans of all the areas are being developed and a number of projects are implemented with the participation of international partners. 1,392 cases of coronavirus infection have been recorded in Azerbaijan. 2,274 people recovered after treatment and were released home. 29 people who died after testing positive for COVID-19. The total confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 317,913 with 287,298 recoveries and 4,490 deaths. Number of active infections is 26,125. To detect new infection cases, overall 3,229,867 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan, the task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.